In a moment that has left the world of Christian television absolutely stunned, Gloria Copeland, wife of the influential televangelist Kenneth Copeland, has revealed shocking news that no one could have predicted. Fans of the power couple, who have been pillars of the faith community for decades, are grappling with the news of Gloria's personal revelation, a moment of vulnerability that has rocked their previously pristine public image. Known for their unwavering strength and prosperity teachings, the Copelands have long been viewed as untouchable in the eyes of their supporters, offering messages of hope and financial miracles to millions around the world. But today, Gloria's words carry a weight that goes far beyond faith or finances. She has shared a private struggle, one that will have people rethinking everything they thought they knew about her and her family. For years, the Copelands have stood as giants in the world of televangelism, beloved by millions who have followed their every sermon, backed their every ministry, and celebrated their every triumph. Their personal lives, largely kept under wraps, have often been portrayed as the embodiment of the perfect Christian marriage, an ideal that their audience has looked up to. So, when Gloria made this shocking revelation, it was like a crack in the foundation of the Copelands' carefully curated public persona. What she shared has left their audience in a state of disbelief, prompting countless questions about what it means for them moving forward. Is the Copeland family's legacy in jeopardy? And more importantly, how will this news affect their millions of supporters who have followed them so devotedly? With her statement, Gloria has opened the door to a new chapter, one that might not be as easy to navigate as the years of success they've become known for. Stay with us, because what Gloria revealed could change everything. For decades, Kenneth and Gloria Copeland have stood as titans in the world of Christian televangelism, revered by millions for their unwavering faith, prosperity teachings, and larger-than-life presence in the public eye. Together, they built an empire that not only shaped the faith of countless followers, but also transformed the way many viewed the relationship between wealth, success, and spirituality. Their message of divine favor, financial prosperity, and personal victory was a lifeline to those seeking hope, healing, and a chance to live a life of abundance. To many, the Copelands were not just preachers. They were living proof that God's favor could turn dreams into reality. For years, their life together seemed almost too perfect to be true. From the outside looking in, Kenneth and Gloria embodied the ideal Christian couple, united in their devotion to each other and their shared mission. Their televised sermons, grand events, and public appearances were a testament to their deep faith and commitment to spreading the message of God's love and provision. Followers saw them as modern-day apostles, leading the charge for prosperity and healing in the name of faith. Their personal story became one of triumph. Gloria's partnership with Kenneth built a foundation that many felt couldn't be shaken by anything, not even the storms of life. And that was part of the reason why their recent revelation hit so hard. For their loyal fan base, there was a sense of comfort in knowing that the Copelands were an unmovable force, always strong, always steady, always successful. They were a beacon of hope, an example of how faith could overcome any obstacle. When Gloria shared her personal news, it not only shattered that sense of invulnerability, but it also struck a deeply emotional chord with the people who had looked up to them for so long. Suddenly, the couple who had inspired millions with their strength and faith were showing a side of themselves that was raw, human, and vulnerable, something many never expected to see. This wasn't just a news update. This was a moment of reckoning. It was as if the Copelands were no longer the invincible couple the world had made them out to be. Fans who had relied on them for spiritual guidance, financial advice, and life lessons were now forced to confront the reality that even the most prominent figures in the faith community face struggles they can't always overcome alone. Gloria's revelation hit at the very heart of what it means to be human, struggling, suffering, and showing vulnerability in the face of hardship. It was a painful reminder that even those who inspire others with their strength have their own battles to fight. The emotional weight of this news cannot be overstated. For those who have followed the Copelands for years, this moment has been a gut punch, shaking the very foundation of their belief in what they represent. In an era where so many public figures have been exposed for their flaws, the Copelands were one of the few who had managed to remain seemingly untouched by scandal, adversity, or failure. Their fans trusted them, looked up to them, and believed that if anyone had the power to rise above life's challenges, it was Kenneth and Gloria. But now, with Gloria's unexpected confession, the walls between their public persona and the private lives they've long kept hidden have crumbled, leaving fans to grapple with what this new reality means for their relationship with the Copelands and their faith in their teachings. This is a crossroads, not just for the Copelands, but for their audience. The bond that has held them together for so long has been tested in a way no one could have anticipated. And as Gloria's words echo through the media, the emotional connection between them and their fans is being reshaped. It's a moment of reckoning for both sides. How will the Copelands navigate this vulnerability, and how will their followers respond to this more human, fragile side of the family they once thought invincible? What happens next will undoubtedly leave a lasting impact on both their legacy and the faith of their supporters. As the tension built around the Copeland family's carefully curated public image, it was Gloria herself who, with quiet strength and an unexpected vulnerability, delivered the shocking revelation that would leave their loyal followers reeling. In a heartfelt statement, Gloria shared a deeply personal struggle that she had kept hidden from the world for years, something that would forever change the way her fans and the broader public saw her and her family. While the specifics of her revelation were deeply intimate, it was clear that this moment was not about seeking sympathy or attention. It was about sharing a painful truth that had been kept in the shadows for far too long. Gloria revealed that she had been battling a serious health condition, one that had affected her both physically and emotionally. While her fans had watched her as a vibrant, energetic force behind the Copeland ministry, the reality was far more complex. Her health challenges had been kept under wraps, with only a few close family members and friends aware of the toll it had taken on her. As she spoke about the years of struggling with her condition in silence, it was evident how much strength it had taken to keep this part of her life private, especially given the high-profile nature of her and Kenneth's ministry. For someone who had always presented herself as the pillar of faith, it was a difficult decision to make this revelation public, yet she knew it was time to show the world a different side of her journey. What struck her fans the most wasn't just the news of her health struggles, it was the raw honesty with which Gloria spoke about her fear, uncertainty, and moments of doubt. For many, Gloria had been an almost untouchable figure, a symbol of strength, faith, and unshakable belief in God's provision. To hear her speak openly about her own fears and the difficult reality of living with a chronic health condition was both heartbreaking and deeply humanizing. Fans who had always seen her as the epitome of faith now found themselves seeing her in a different light, as someone who, despite her public persona, was dealing with very real, very human challenges. Gloria's words resonated on a level far beyond the typical celebrity confession. Her story wasn't just about a personal battle, it was a testament to the universal struggles that everyone faces in life. The image of the Copelands as perfect, unbreakable role models was forever altered. What she shared made it clear that even in the face of such a public life, there are moments of suffering and doubt that no amount of faith or success can shield you from. Gloria's courage in revealing her vulnerability to the world has opened a door for her followers to see her as someone they can relate to, someone whose faith had been tested in ways they could now understand. It wasn't just a confession, it was an invitation to her fans to walk with her through the pain, the fear, and the hope that comes with such a personal journey. Gloria's message was clear. Even when the storms of life seem unbearable, it's possible to keep moving forward with faith, even if it means showing the world your flaws along the way. This moment of vulnerability, however difficult, was Gloria's way of saying, "I'm human, just like you." And in doing so, she has connected with her audience on a deeper, more meaningful level than ever before. Her announcement has shifted the narrative, no longer just the story of a powerful televangelist couple, but of real people who face the same struggles as those who follow them. The impact of Gloria Copeland's deeply personal revelation rippled through the media, sparking an outpouring of reactions from fans, fellow public figures, and even other celebrities within the Christian community. What began as a quiet admission of her struggles quickly became the subject of widespread discussion, with many expressing their shock, sympathy, and admiration for her courage. The announcement spread like wildfire across social media, where countless fans shared their heartfelt messages, voicing support for Gloria as she navigated this incredibly difficult chapter in her life. But it wasn't just the fans who were reacting. Public figures, many of whom have either worked with or admired the Copelands for years, weighed in as well, sending messages of love and solidarity. On one hand, the fans who had followed the Copelands' ministry for decades responded with an outpouring of compassion and understanding. For many of these individuals, the Copelands had been an essential part of their spiritual journey, figures who represented the ideals of faith, prosperity, and success. To see Gloria, a woman they had long viewed as unshakable in her faith and strength, show such vulnerability brought many to tears. Social media platforms were flooded with messages of support, with people sharing their own stories of personal hardship and offering words of encouragement to Gloria. It was as if the entire community of followers had come together, unified by the shared experience of witnessing this moment of raw humanity. However, not all reactions were purely supportive. Some fans, who had long viewed the Copelands as symbols of divine success and invulnerability, found themselves questioning their place in the narrative. The Copelands had built their empire on a foundation of prosperity teachings, financial abundance, and success as signs of God's favor. So when Gloria revealed a deeply personal struggle that hadn't been overcome with prayer or faith alone, some followers were left grappling with cognitive dissonance. How could a woman who had taught so passionately about the power of faith now show such vulnerability? Was this a sign that even the most faithful among them could falter, or was there something more at play beneath the surface? For some, this moment challenged their long-held beliefs, leaving them to wonder whether the Copelands' message was as unshakable as they had once thought. On the other hand, fellow celebrities and influential figures within the Christian community came forward to express their admiration for Gloria's courage. High-profile pastors and televangelists who had shared the stage with the Copelands offered words of encouragement, applauding her for being open about her struggles. They acknowledged the immense pressure that public figures face to maintain a certain image, and many praised Gloria for choosing authenticity over perfection. For these figures, Gloria's decision to reveal such a deeply personal challenge was seen as a powerful testament to the strength that comes from embracing one's vulnerability. As one prominent figure put it, "It takes a lot of faith to show the world your weaknesses." Gloria has shown us all the true power of living authentically. While most of the reactions leaned towards support and admiration, there were still some critics who raised questions. The transparency with which Gloria spoke about her health struggles, they argued, raised important discussions about the ethical responsibility of public figures, especially in the realm of faith and ministry. Some critics pointed out that many followers of the Copelands, who had embraced their teachings about financial success and divine favor, might now feel conflicted. Was the message of prosperity a false promise, or was it simply not the full picture of what true faith entails? These discussions sparked debates that ranged from faith-based critiques to broader conversations about the pressures placed on celebrities in the religious community. Despite the mix of reactions, one thing was clear: Gloria's admission had struck a chord with the public. Whether they viewed it as an inspiring act of courage or a jarring shift in the narrative, the conversation surrounding her personal reveal was far from over. In many ways, Gloria had taken a step that few public figures in her position would dare to, letting her audience into a more complex, nuanced version of her life. And as the news continued to circulate, people couldn't help but wonder, what would come next for the Copelands? Would this moment of vulnerability lead to a deeper connection with their followers, or would it prompt more challenges for the couple's public image? One thing was for certain: the Copeland story had just entered a new, unpredictable chapter. As Gloria Copeland's heartbreaking revelation continues to echo through the media, the implications of her personal admission extend far beyond her individual journey. The news has sparked a wider conversation about the Copeland's ministry, their legacy, and what this shift in their public image means for the millions of followers who have long looked to them for spiritual guidance and inspiration. The question on everyone's mind is, how will this news affect the future of their ministry and the Copeland family's standing within the faith community? The Copelands have long been seen as leaders in the world of televangelism, with a message that has resonated with millions worldwide. Their teachings of prosperity, divine favor, and abundant life have helped build one of the most powerful Christian broadcasting empires in history. For decades, their fans have embraced the belief that living a life of faith and obedience could lead to tangible rewards, financial success, health, and spiritual fulfillment. The Copelands, in turn, have maintained an image of unwavering strength and confidence in the face of adversity. But with Gloria's candid revelation about her health struggles, the question now arises, can the Copelands continue to inspire the same level of faith when they, too, are faced with the trials and tribulations of life? Some supporters believe that Gloria's vulnerability could ultimately strengthen the Copelands' bond with their audience. It's not uncommon for followers to form deeper emotional connections with public figures when they witness their struggles and pain. Gloria's bravery in sharing her health battle has opened a window into a more authentic side of her life, one that her audience may now feel they can relate to on a more personal level. It's possible that her revelation will humanize the Copelands, allowing them to shift from being viewed as untouchable icons to a family who understands hardship, just like their followers. For many, seeing Gloria face such adversity and continue to stand firm in her faith could serve as a powerful testament to the strength of believing through difficulty. However, the impact on the Copelands' ministry may not be entirely positive. There's a risk that this revelation could challenge the core of their teachings. The Copelands' message of prosperity often hinged on the belief that faith could lead to material rewards, including good health and financial success. With Gloria publicly admitting to a health struggle, some critics may seize upon this as evidence of a disconnect between the Copelands' teachings and their own personal experiences. Could this spark doubts among their followers, many of whom have relied on the Copelands for financial and spiritual advice? Could it lead to a shift in their approach, or even a reconsideration of the prosperity gospel itself? Some may feel betrayed, wondering if the promises they've held on to for years can still be trusted. The Copelands have built an empire that thrives on the power of their image. The Copelands' carefully managed brand has been a cornerstone of their success, and shifting from an image of unshakable faith to one of vulnerability could potentially alter their standing within both the ministry and the media landscape. The question that many are asking is, will their supporters continue to stand by them through this difficult revelation? Or will this mark the beginning of a decline in their influence? How the Copelands handle this moment and how they choose to move forward could significantly shape the future of their ministry. This revelation also opens up a broader conversation about the role of authenticity in modern-day ministries. As followers of the Copelands are now confronted with the reality that their beloved leaders are not immune to life struggles, it could lead to a larger shift in how religious leaders engage with their congregations. Will more public figures in the Christian community follow suit, choosing transparency and openness over the polished, unflappable personas that have long defined them? Gloria's decision to reveal her personal challenges could be a turning point in the way religious figures navigate their public lives, potentially influencing how faith-based leaders connect with their audiences in a world that increasingly demands authenticity. As Gloria's story continues to unfold, the Copelands' legacy stands at a crossroads. What happens next will likely determine the future trajectory of their ministry, as well as the way in which they are remembered by their followers. Will they emerge from this as a more relatable, deeply respected voice in the Christian community, or will this revelation force a reckoning that changes everything they've built? The coming months will reveal whether Gloria's heartbreaking honesty will strengthen their bond with their audience, or whether it will challenge the very foundation of their public ministry. As the dust begins to settle from Gloria Copeland's stunning revelation, the world continues to watch closely, wondering what the future holds for the Copeland family and their vast network of followers. In this pivotal moment, one thing is certain: the Copeland's carefully crafted image has been altered forever. Yet, it remains to be seen whether this new, more vulnerable side of Gloria will strengthen their connection with their audience or leave lingering questions that may be harder to overcome. The coming weeks and months will reveal whether their message of faith, prosperity, and personal triumph will remain as powerful as ever, or if it will evolve into something new altogether. But what do you think? Are you surprised by Gloria's admission, or did you sense something might be amiss beneath the surface of their public lives? Do you believe that her vulnerability will make the Copelands even more relatable, or has it shaken the foundation of the message they've built their empire on? What does this revelation mean for their followers, and how should they move forward in light of it? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts, opinions, and personal stories in the comments below. How do you feel about Gloria's revelation, and what impact do you think it will have on her legacy? Are you standing by them, or is this a turning point for you? Share your reaction and join the conversation. And stay tuned, because as more updates unfold, we'll be bringing you the latest insights and exclusive details on how the Copelands are navigating this challenging chapter. This story is far from over, and you won't want to miss what comes next.